What if in one single podcast episode, I can cure your fear of public speaking? If you're anything like majority of the world, the fear of public speaking, it's very real. 40% of people actually report that they are more scared of public speaking than dying. We can have a message that we want to share. We can be super passionate about it, but we can allow the overwhelming fear of sharing it to overpower us, and then we end up not sharing it at all. Believe it or not, this used to be me. My entire life, one of my biggest fears was public speaking. Fast forward to now, and I'm an international keynote speaker. I'm standing on stages. I have events all over the world. I'm running a top 5% podcast, and I'm teaching entrepreneurs how to overcome this fear and turn their voice into impact and move the masses with their brand. Imagine that I had allowed this fear to stop me. So today, I'm going to walk you through exactly how I overcame it and how you can too. Today, I'm going to share with you 5 tools to overcoming the fear of public speaking. Let's dive in, friends. What's up, Savages, and welcome back to another episode on the Business Savage podcast. I'm your host, your business and mindset coach, and professional international speaker, Cassandra Britton. I have built multiple businesses to 6 and 7 figures, but it is not all butterflies and rainbows. So I am here to help you play bigger and unleash the wild, untamed version of you that lives inside. A healthy business begins with a healthy mind, and our businesses will only grow to the extent in which we grow. I'm here to share with you the real talk about being in the 1% and what it takes to play big 360 in business and in life. If you have a sec, please drop us a review. It greatly helps us reach a bigger audience, and others who need to hear these messages find us. And of course, don't forget to hit the bell at the top corner and subscribe so that you never miss a future episode right as they air. If you've ever experienced fears when public speaking, maybe you're the typical ummer and ahher, or maybe you like to ramble because you don't know how to make your point. This episode is going to be your new best friend. Whether it's going live on Instagram, just recording a podcast, maybe you're making a training program, maybe you do want to stand on stages, maybe you're leading workshops, or even just showing your face on camera. This fear is real, and it's holding way too many powerful voices back. How long are you going to allow fear to keep you protecting your image instead of walking in your purpose? You blame it on lack of clarity in your words, but your words are not the problem. The fear of public speaking doesn't come from not knowing what to say. It comes from the belief that you are the center of the moment. When you realize that your voice isn't about your ego, when you stop obsessing over your image and start focusing on your impact, you stop performing and you start serving. And that is where real confidence is born. What truly is happening is a fixation on being perceived a certain way. You giving silent permission to the audience that their opinion of you matters more than your message. You fear not being enough, not being articulate enough, polished enough, or confident enough. And that fear quietly convinces you that silence is safer than vulnerability, that playing small is more noble than risking judgment. But when you withhold your voice to protect your image, you disconnect from your purpose. And your voice was never meant to serve your ego. It was meant to serve others. It was meant to heal, to awaken, and to remind someone else that they are not alone. The moment you stop asking, how will I be perceived? And you start asking, who needs this message right now? Everything will shift. Yet every time we choose silence, you're choosing comfort over contribution, you're choosing self-protection over service, and you're choosing image over impact. Fear will always ask you, what if I'm not ready? But purpose will always ask you, but what if they need you now? You don't need the perfect script. You need the courage to speak anyway, to get off of self and to get back on mission. Speak to serve. Speak for the person who's still suffering in silence. Speak for the version of you who needed to hear it before they were ready. Because public speaking is not about being seen, it's about being a vessel for God to speak the words of impact through you. And when you remember that, fear has no place in the room, because fear thrives in self-focus. But purpose eliminates fear. Friends, I have a quick question for you. What is the cost of staying quiet? How many opportunities are slipping right through your fingers? How many dream clients, collaborations, interviews, sales, opportunities are you missing because you are still holding back your voice. If you're a business owner, a coach, a creator, a thought leader, and you find yourself struggling to articulate your message clearly, to hold attention when you speak, or to show up with power on camera, if your delivery feels scattered or your content isn't converting the way that it should, you don't know what to say, you don't know how to share your story, or maybe you're already speaking, but it's not growing and your reels are not converting and you're not seeing any results. Whether you're recording a podcast, leading a webinar, or simply hitting post on a story or a reel to grow your brand, Voices of Impact was made for you. On April 15th, the doors are opening to our new signature program where I'm going to teach you everything that I know about becoming a confident, powerful speaker, from camera presence to scripting and messaging, to viral reel formula, to engaging tactics and techniques. There's science to all of it, or should I say, the art of delivery. This 8-week experience is where I'm teaching you the exact tools that I've used to grow my brand from 6 to 7 figures, go viral online, launch a top 5% global podcast, and get paid to speak on stages all over the world. But more than that, it's about owning your story. It's about building real confidence and how you show up, how you lead, and how you connect with your audience. So if you're done playing small and you're ready to be heard, DM me on Instagram the word voice right now. It's at the.business.savage, and I'm going to send you all the details. They're also, of course, going to be in the show notes if you want to click that link. Now, back to the episode. So let's talk about the truth about fear. Let's just get really real for a second. Fear of public speaking, it isn't just about being nervous. Okay, it's about all of the different stories that we're telling ourselves in the process. What if I mess up? What if they judge me? What if I'm not good enough? I shouldn't even be the one talking, imposter syndrome, frauds, all of that. But here's the thing. You're not afraid of speaking. You're actually not afraid of speaking at all. You've been speaking your whole life. You're afraid of being seen. You're afraid of being misunderstood or of being exposed. Maybe being exposed as a fraud because you're not confident enough in your message, or you're still in the beginning stages of building your brand. Who's going to listen to me? What if I'm boring? What if nobody cares? We think we're going to forget what to say because we fear that we have nothing to say that's good at all. That is not a surface level fear. It's connected to rejection, perfectionism, imposter syndrome, and sometimes even trauma. But here's what I want to say to you today. Public speaking isn't about being perfect. It's about being powerful. And if I'm being completely blunt with you, it actually isn't even about you at all. Here's the problem. Most people are scared to speak on camera because they think, what if I mess up and everyone's going to be looking at me and I'm going to embarrass myself? Do you realize that each one of those thoughts is self-absorbed and consumed by you? But speaking isn't about you. It's about your audience and who's receiving your message. I mean, isn't that why we're here to share and communicate in the first place, is to share the message? You've learned something cool and you want to share it with the world, whether that is the phone that's in your pocket or the massive stage that you may want to stand on. But we use our voice to help move the masses, to help move more people, and to help connect and inspire. That power doesn't come from being flawless. It comes from connection, from truth, and from presence. So here's the number one shift that changed the entire perspective and narrative on speaking for me. It's not about me. It's about you. It's about your audience. So when you can get off self and get onto purpose, you will very quickly start showing up differently. And when you can imagine that person who's in your life, who you're impacting and who needs to hear your message, you suddenly stop worrying about what your hair looks like. And we allow ourselves to just freely speak without self-criticism. I wasn't always a confident speaker. I wasn't the confident speaker that you see right now today on podcasts, on my social media, teaching Voices of Impact and teaching entrepreneurs how to use their voice, standing on stages all over the world. That was not always me. There was a time that I couldn't even get through a team meeting without sweating through my shirt. I would overthink every single word. I would practically black out when I was talking. And then I would replay it in my head for days, for hours afterwards. Does that sound familiar for you? So here's the moment that changed my fear of speaking for me. The fear doesn't go away. You just stop giving it the mic. I stopped trying to avoid the fear and I started learning how to walk with it. I learned how to channel it and how to let it sharpen me and to fuel me. Remind me that I cared about what I was doing. These symptoms of fear, the sweating palms, the racing heart, the shaking knees, the quivering lip, it was all just a sign that I cared. What a beautiful emotion. So why run from something that I cared about? Why run from my edge? I can allow fear to walk with me where I am in control, or I can allow fear to win And that is not where growth lives. Because fear, it is a mile wide, but it's only an inch deep. It can seem incredibly vast and daunting and like it's never ending. But the second that you step into it, you realize it's not as bad as you thought. So friends, I want to help you eliminate fear. Okay, maybe not eliminate it, because it doesn't ever really go away. But I want you to at least understand it, and I want you to be able to take back the driver's seat. Are you ready? Well, I don't know if any of you are type A analytical brains like me, but let me tackle fear from a perspective that you may not ever have been actually exposed to, that changed the way that I perceived fear forever, and I think it will for you too. Fear's job is to prevent you from taking action, okay? Imagine you're about to take a big leap, maybe starting a business. Maybe you're gonna make a bold investment. Maybe you're gonna deliver a keynote speech like I do. That hesitation that you feel, it's not just in your mind, it's in a specific part of your brain that's called the amygdala. Now, the amygdala is the part of the brain that is responsible for you processing fear and detecting that they're threats. Literally, the job of the amygdala is to detect your surroundings and let you know if there's any threats so that it can keep you safe. If we talk about like back in the caveman days, this was essential because it helped all of our ancestors survive by literally triggering that fight or flight response when they would be faced with something that was actually dangerous. Like maybe it was a lion that was in the bushes. Okay, that's actually really scary, right? That is real danger. It is life-threatening, and so action is needed. But here's the catch. The amygdala doesn't know the difference between the lion and launching a new business idea. To your brain, anything uncertain, it feels like it's a threat. Fight, flight, or freeze. And so what happens is our body, we start experiencing all of these like physical symptoms and sensations. You guys know them. Increased heart rate, we get shortness of breath, sweaty palms, quivering lips. For me, it's my knees. They start shaking. Sometimes we'll get butterflies. Sometimes people get nauseous. We're literally gonna throw up. These symptoms are your body's way of saying, stop, there's danger ahead. And in most cases, obviously non-life-threatening like our lion in the wild, the danger isn't real. Let me say that again. The danger isn't real. When you let these symptoms dictate your actions or inactions, you have just given fear all of the control over your future. So let me give you strategy number 1. We need to reframe these symptoms of fear. And instead of viewing them as reasons to slow down and to stop and not take action at all, we need to view them as signs that you are growing and you are evolving. You've met a new edge of something uncomfortable. A racing heart means that you're alive and you're stepping into something exciting. Butterflies in your stomach signal that you're on the verge of something important. Sweaty palms, that just means that you care enough to actually challenge yourself. The thing is, the only wrong decision is actually nothing at all. To pause and just not take action and let the fear win. Because nothing is solved in inaction. You stay in the exact same place as you were before and you let fear win. And let me tell you, when God is calling you to something higher, and you know that you have something that will help people and make a better impact on the world, how selfish is it of you to not move that fear into the passenger seat and say, hey, I see you. And you can come along for this ride, but you're not driving. I'm driving. Because we've got things to do, and we've got a world to change, and I can't do that if you're in control. Because fear never really goes away. We just learn how to take action despite it being there. So the lesson here is to isolate the fear, identify it. The same way that shame breeds in the dark, so does fear. The second that we bring it to light, it no longer has power over us. So, okay, fear, I see you. I can feel the shaking knees. I can feel the quivering lip. I'm shaking. I'm rambling. I can't gain control over myself. So what if in that moment, we ask ourselves, what is so threatening? What are all of these worries? And are any of them currently happening and actually even true? If the answer is no, then we keep going. Those physical symptoms, they are awareness that you are growing. And ultimately, the fear really comes from you not being confident in your message. It comes from you worrying that you're going to mess up, that the audience won't like it, that someone's going to think you're not good enough or have imposter syndrome, or you're not going to impress everybody, or somebody's going to say something mean about you. Maybe you think that you're going to bore them. I don't know. The list, it goes on. I have heard it all. But we know that where focus goes, energy flows. So if we're giving power and attention to these types of thoughts, we are more likely to give evidence to support this type of behavior. Fear those thoughts, it starts spiraling when we are not confident in our ability and in our message. We know that with time and with reps and with practice, these things always improve, like anything, like how any confidence is built. But when I first started standing on these stages, I was a horrible speaker. I had zero stage presence, and I didn't know how to leave the stage. Friends, literally, I didn't know how to leave the stage without saying, okay, well, that's it. So thanks. But I'm not here just to tell you how to put in more reps and how to practice more. Yes, that is the core component in becoming a more compelling and a more powerful speaker. But what I am here to do is to tell you to face the thing that is causing the fear in the first place. Why are you not confident in your message? What are you really so worried about that the audience won't like it? I mean, you were chosen for a reason, and if not, then this is your own platform. You have followers for a reason, and whether it's 4 people or 400 people, making an impact is making an impact. So if I can show up, I can practice my message to 4 people who love it and get feedback, then the next time with consistency and practice, it'll be 6, and then that 6 is 10, and 10 turns to 20, and before you know it, not only am I developing this muscle and learning to become a more powerful speaker, but I'm also growing my audience and impact in the process. But this starts with you having the courage to look that fear dead in the eye. Recognize that it is the amygdala trying to keep you safe. There's no life-threatening danger, and that the more you can move that fear to the passenger seat and take control of that steering wheel, you will notice that fear will subside, and the more you get to step into your impact. Remember, when you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at will change. If you tell yourself you hate it, you're scared, and it sucks, you will hate it, you will show symptoms of fear, and the experience will suck because you just created your own reality. The power of your mind and the way that you speak to yourself is truly remarkable. You will find all of the answers to affirm what you are looking for. So let me leave you with 5 powerful tools to overcome the fear of speaking. Let's break this down. If you're ready to overcome the fear, these are the 5 powerful tools that I am going to share with you. Tip number 1, I want you to shift from being a performer to being a messenger. You're not here to perform. You're here to deliver a message. When you focus on serving instead of impressing, your energy will shift from ego to on purpose. Ask yourself, what do I need them to feel or understand by the time I have stopped talking? Okay? Number 2 is to prepare, but don't overscript. So know your content, but don't cling to every single word. Speaking is a dance. It's not meant to be a script. Okay, we don't want you reading every single word. We want you to have guidance, but we don't want you reading every single word. Outline your key points, practice the transitions, allow it to sink in and be real, but let your words be real. That's how people will actually connect. Number 3 is I want you to breathe like a speaker. This sounds super basic, but it's actually game-changing. Before you speak, drop your shoulders, take a slow, deep belly breath, exhale, and ground into the floor. Okay, this also helps me with my filler words. Most people will actually use filler words every 12 seconds, like, right, those types of words. The breathing I find in between, taking a pause, allowed me to overcome using and and like and all of the filler words all the time. Number 4 is to reframe the physical symptoms. So the racing heart, the adrenaline, that's not panic. It's power getting ready to be released. High performers feel the exact same symptoms before they stand on stage, but it's what you do with that energy that makes the difference. And then number 5 is to practice in safe and stretchy spaces. Get uncomfortable in environments that feel safe. Go live on Instagram to 3 viewers. Practice your intro in front of the mirror. Join a speaking program. Hello, Voices of Impact. Or if you want to be a keynote speaker and really make impact with your keynote speaking, Jen Gottlieb has a program called Stage Leaders. She was one of my mentors. Phenomenal program. I can get you the details. Every rep will rewire your nervous system. And before you know it, what used to terrify you will become second nature. The world doesn't need more perfect speakers. It needs more real ones. More voices that speak with truth, with vulnerability, and with conviction. Your story, whether big and dramatic or soft and simple, it holds the power to move people, but only if you speak it. So if fear is holding you back, remember, you don't need to be fearless, you need to be willing. Speak while your voice shakes, show up messy, let people feel your heartbeat in your words. That's what makes you magnetic and truly turns your voice into impact. And remember, if you're ready to start learning how to use your story and your message and your voice to grow your brand and your business, Voices of Impact is here and it is for you. The waitlist is open right now for enrollment, which gives you exclusive VIP offers and early bird pricing. It all starts and opens on April 15th, so you're gonna wanna be on the wait list. If you're interested, send me a DM on Instagram. It's at the.business.savage if you're not already following me. You can literally just send me the word voice, or you can click the link that's in the show notes here for the direct link to our website. Of course, everything is also available on our website. It's www.thebusinesssavage.com. It's time to overcome your fear of speaking and grow your business and your brand with your most powerful asset, which is your voice. And remember, friends, a savage will get knocked down, but they will always get back up. So keep on fighting. Peace, guys.